Erica here, and I am back with part 2 of my Christmas/winter book haul. I will link the other parts of the book haul down below so you can watch those. Today I'm just going to talk about some nonfiction and some poetry that I received. The other parts are kind of genre fiction, mostly science fiction and fantasy, and then I have a literary fiction part as well, because I got quite a few books for Christmas and have gotten quite a few since then. So the first book I want to talk about is quite a huge anthology, and I got this from my mom for Christmas, and it is the Penguin Anthology of 20th Century American Poetry. This is edited by Rita Dove. It is exactly what it says it is. It's quite a large book, clearly, so this is something that I will be dipping in and out of. I don't think I'll be sitting down to read this straight through, but it's a very nice book. It's a nice soft touch cover. Looks like that, and this has all kinds of poets in it, of course. We have Audre Lorde, Mark Strand, tons and tons of people, Anne Sexton, Derek Walcott. So there's a really wide variety of poets in here, and it starts, of course, at the beginning of the 20th century and goes throughout. So the first poet listed is Edgar Lee Masters, and then the most current poet is, oh my gosh, the table of contents is huge, Terrence Hayes. There's a nice diversity of authors in this that I've noticed, having just kind of flipped through it, so I'm really excited to dive into this and hopefully discover some new poets whose work I haven't read too much of before, and then I can get more collections of theirs. Next, I got 3 little poetry pamphlets from Dancing Girl Press. Dancing Girl Press is an independent publisher in the US, and they make amazing and beautiful little chapbooks and pamphlets. They're all published really beautifully. They have beautiful covers. Highly recommend checking them out. They do a lot of sales where you can get like 5 for $25 and things like that. I just got 3 from them this time, and I don't know much about any of these, but the first one I have, and I hope that it's probably not here. Let's see if I can. I'm going to say my white balance is screwy today, but this is called Hair is Too Small Ruin by Sarah J. Sloat. Again, I don't really know anything about this. I kind of, on the Dancing Girl Press website, they for each book, they kind of give a sample of the work when you open up the description, and so I just picked things where I liked the sample. But this is a really beautiful little book, and I'm sorry that the cover's not showing up quite right here. I'll read you a little bit from the title poem, which is called Heiress to a Small Ruin. A little smoking all night, a little drinking all day. There was no milk in the fridge, then there was no fridge. So mother put on some music. Tommy Dorsey and his orchestra. Blue skies, nothing but blue skies. So I'm really excited about this. The poems are pretty short, and again, it's just a tiny little pamphlet. The next one I got from Dancing Girl Press is All Day Talking by Sarah A. Chavez. Again, a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. And again, I know very little about this, but I will read you a sample from this as well. Every poem in this collection starts with the words Dear Carol, so I'm interested to know what that's all about. But this one starts, Dear Carol, you never told me silence could be so satisfying. The other day, I almost told another stranger to fuck off. It took all I had to only look through the flimsy windshield of her boxy Fiat and lock eyes with her. She pretended not to see me in the crosswalk as she cali rolled 6 inches from my legs. I arrest you with my gaze, I said in my head as she gave a half smile and shrugged, like what can a girl do? But I kept my gaze steady until I put one foot on the sidewalk, then looked away, releasing her. So again, this sounds really beautiful, and I will probably read all of these very soon, as they're all very tiny. The last one I'm really excited about is it seems really fun, and that's called Gamer, a role-playing poem. This is by Catherine Kyle. So this is nuts. So it is like, it's like a poetry book, but it's like a choose-your-own-adventure poetry book. So at the end of each poem, you have choices. So the first poem, after you read it, it says, if you set out immediately for adventure, turn to page 11. If you investigate the village's old well, turn to page 10. And if you spend your life in the village, turn to page 16. So I'll definitely be playing around with this. I think it's fun when artists do that kind of thing where you can read it in different orders. because then different readers get a different picture of it. And again, this is gorgeous, and I'm sorry these aren't showing up very well. I'm in a new filming location, and I'm having a hard time getting my camera settings and my lighting correct, but I'm working on it. So I'm really excited about this. So I haven't gotten a chance to read much of this yet, but I have dipped in and out a little bit, and I will be reading the whole thing through probably multiple times in different orders to see how it feels. But I will read you this one, which is kind of in the middle. It's called Blade. And it says, Blade. Arm yourself. This world is unkind. You are the blade that incises the truth. They will tell you you are dangerous, that it is you who are unkind. Do not heed them, small star. You were forged for this. Born from liquid fire, hammered till you shone. You are the kiln, the iron, the effort. You are the weight and the muscle you swing. Take yourself up and fight this deception. Take yourself up and win. So, very cool little book, and I'm really excited. And I will link to Dancing Girl Press's website down below so you can check them out. They publish really incredible stuff. The last collection of poetry I picked up on a complete whim from a used bookstore. I really loved the cover and the title. So this is Bone Confetti. This is by Muriel Lang, who's an Asian American author. And I had just kind of flipped through this and really loved it. What I read of it anyway. So it's kind of all kinds of different things. Like there are short little bits like that, but then there are full-length poems as well. And again, I will read you a little sample. This one's called Mourn You Better. Ecstatic phrase, mourn you better, or else. Surrender to the cherry nothingness of go back to the everyday. Like a runaway gurney, I should lie awake for a pink comet to engulf me. I should prick myself over and over with a thorn. Its grip should strike me to grave. So, sounds really gorgeous, and I'm really excited to get into this. This book won the 2015 Noemi Press Poetry Award, which I know very little about, but it is gorgeous. So moving on to nonfiction, I have 5 nonfiction books to talk about. The first one I'm going to talk about I've already read, so I'll just go through this real quickly. This is The Year of Yes, How to Dance It Out, Stand in the Sun, and Be Your Own Person by Shonda Rhimes. I listened to this on audiobook, I believe, during the last Dewey's 24-hour readathon, and I really loved it. Shonda Rhimes reads the audiobook herself, which is amazing, but I really wanted a physical copy. It's also just like a gorgeous book. This color palette kind of speaks to me. And this is basically about what happens when you say yes to things and kind of drop the fear you have of committing to things in your life, events and people. And yeah, I loved it. I think Shonda Rhimes is an incredible, incredible woman, and I definitely recommend this. The next 4 are all kind of books about books, which I'm very much into. So the first one I have is The Professor and the Madman by Simon Winchester, and the subtitle of this book is A Tale of Murder, Insanity, and the Making of the Oxford English Dictionary. So these are the new Harper Olive editions, which I love. They're kind of small format paperbacks, and the spines are really nice. I get a couple every year when they release them. And I've been wanting to read this book forever anyway, and the cover illustration is very cool. So this is about the men who basically started writing the Oxford English Dictionary, and it's supposed to be a really cool book. It kind of, when I read about it, it kind of reminds me of like Eric Larson's The Devil in the White City or something like that, where it combines kind of these this true crime element with a historical occurrence. So I can't wait to get around to this, and it's much shorter than I anticipated. So I'm sure I'll get to it soon, hopefully. Next, I have a book that I picked up on a complete whim. I hadn't heard of it before, and this is called Browsings, A Year of Reading, Collecting, and Living with Books by Michael Dyrda. And I believe that this book did not, but Michael Dyrda is a Pulitzer Prize-winning book critic. And this is a series of essays kind of about different bookish-related things. So the table of contents has things like bookish pets, paper, scribble scribble, books on books, spring book sales, and stuff like that. So I really enjoy essays like this and reading about how other people view kind of their reading habits and their book collections and things like that. So I'm looking forward to reading this. Next, I bought On Writing by Stephen King. This is a memoir of the craft. This is a really famous writing book, and I am not a writer myself, but I find it really fascinating to read kind of about different people's processes and how different people feel about writing, especially famous authors. This is supposed to be amazing. I've read a couple of Stephen King's books, but not a ton. I'm not a huge fan. But I have heard really wonderful things about this, and this is a really gorgeous edition of this book. Again, it's a soft touch cover, which I love, and I'm looking forward to kind of dipping in and out of this. And lastly, I have a gorgeous, gorgeous book. This was a complete, I saw it in the bookstore and just had to have it kind of buy, and it was a little expensive, and I probably shouldn't have, but I did anyway. This is called Literary Wonderlands, A Journey Through the Greatest Fictional Worlds Ever Created. This is edited by Laura Miller, and it is beautiful. Okay, so it's a nice hardback. There's your cover, your spine, in the back. Underneath the dust jacket, it's this gorgeous mint green, and it is what it says it is. So every chapter is a different famous kind of literary world. So it goes all the way back to, it starts in ancient myth and legend with the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Odyssey. It goes through the Romantic period and the Golden Age of fantasy, so you get to go into, Peter Pan and Brave New World, Gulliver's Travels, all kinds of different gorgeous, gorgeous worlds, and it's beautifully illustrated. So the book looks like this. It's all in full color. It's really, really beautiful. I can't wait to peruse this. Again, this is not something that I'll be reading kind of start to finish, but I am looking forward to dipping in and out of it, especially for books that I've already read. So a lot of these are books that I haven't read yet, but I would like to, like Octavia Butler's Kindred is in here, and I have not had a chance to read that yet, but when I do, I'll be very interested to read the chapter on that book. So again, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous book, and this is published by Black Dog and Leventhal publishers, and I'm really excited to have it. I don't regret that impulse buy. So that's all the nonfiction and poetry that I have acquired since the holidays and over the holidays. If you have any questions about these books or have read any of them and would like to share any information with me, please do let me know. I'm hoping to get to quite a few of them very soon, per usual, but who knows what will actually happen. And I will be back soon with part 3 of this book haul. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.